What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. In today's video, I want to talk about the New York Jets speaking with the media, and of course, some Garrett Wilson conversation as he talks about a change that he made going into the 2024 season. We get things rocking and rolling with Tyler Conklin as he comments on Aaron Rodgers.
No, that was never an issue. I mean, he was here for, I think, just about every single OTA practice, and I just think it's fun. Like, he mentioned it too on the podcast, right? Like, we put this minicamp label on those last 2-3 practices, and in reality, it's the same exact thing as OTAs. It always has been since I've been in the league. I know he talked about how back in the day it was, a little different, but minicamp's basically just 2 or 3 more OTA practices, and I mean, I don't think anybody really batted an eye about it when it came to the locker room or whatnot, but I guess it was fun media for a little bit.
In absolutely shocking fashion, an Aaron Rodgers teammate, once again, has Aaron Rodgers back, which goes back to the original point that Aaron Rodgers is not in the wrong and that it's way blown out of proportion outside the Jets building. Inside the facility, the New York Jets have put forward the same thing, the same story, and there is, in fact, no divide in the Jets locker room over Aaron Rodgers missing mandatory minicamp because of him attending a trip to Egypt. But before that, he was in attendance for all 10 OTA practices. So again, shocking, but nothing big going on there. The second thing I wanted to get into with these guys talking to the media is 2 leaders on the defense. So CJ Mosley and Quinnen Williams are both leaders on this New York Jets defense, and deservedly so, and both answered question about Hassan Reddick, and Mosley in particular said that it doesn't get into the locker room.
I mean, when you deal with contracts and things like that, it doesn't really get to the locker room because we don't control that. So when he does get here, then we'll be able to have our 2 cents to say. But we know he's a pro. He's been at the highest level of competition. So I'm sure whenever that gets worked out, he'll be here ready to roll. So when he gets here, just be another great player to add to our defensive line.
I am going to give the Jets and CJ Mosley some credit here because I think they do a good job of keeping the locker room together when things tend to go off the rails. And off the rails is maybe a little bit harsh, but the team hasn't quit on Robert Saleh or the Jets defense hasn't quit yet, and they've really been given opportunity after opportunity where if they did, you would understand it. But I will say I think the Jets have the right guys in here to have a team that's not going to be distracted by Hassan Reddick trying to get his contract situation figured out. And with Quinnen Williams' comments, he kind of seconds that notion as well, talking about Hassan Reddick, the person, and then what he brings to the Jets defense.
What was your reaction when you found out Hassan Reddick wasn't here today?
It wasn't a big reaction, man. Hassan is a great person on the field and off the field, a great teammate, a great talent when it comes down to pass rushing, when it comes down to run stopping and doing the things that he can do. And I was in his position last year, so I know how the organization works. I know how Joe Douglas and Coach Saleh and all those guys works. And knowing him personally as a great competitor and a great person who wants to be here, who wants to win championships, man, I know they're going to get everything ironed out. So.
Does it matter, Quinn, if he's not here for a little while? Training camp?
It definitely is. I want to say I try to stay out of all that. I know he's an amazing football player. I know he's an amazing person. I know this organization is amazing when it comes down to getting those things done in a decent time. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to iron everything out. But he's a phenomenal football player, man. When he stepped on this field, man, he changed the whole thing, whole aura of just because he's a guy that can put up 15-plus sacks a year, 10-plus sacks a year, and different things like that. So I'm just blessed to have him on my side. So.
Changing gears a little bit, but wanted to talk about Garrett Wilson because he was someone who spoke as well earlier today. And he put on a little bit more weight. And by a little bit, I mean 3 pounds, which, I don't know, for regular people, 3 pounds, I feel like that could vary almost week to week if you're up or down 3 pounds. But Garrett was like, hey, I wanted to put on weight. I put on 3 pounds. And he's hoping to be able to kind of take more hits. And that's something. He's a wide receiver that is a little bit more on the slender side. So he's susceptible to getting those big hits and potentially getting banged up. He's a very acrobatic wide receiver when he goes up and gets the football, and that's what makes him so special. And I don't want that part of his game to go away. I just don't want him to get hurt. So you got to find that happy medium, because if he puts on too much weight, well, then the speed and the athleticism is not going to be what it needs to be. But if he's too slender, well, he's going to get the crap knocked out of him going over the middle of the field. So you kind of got to find that balance, and I'm hoping that Garrett Wilson is able to find said balance this year with putting on a couple more pounds. And let's be honest, though, $187 is not really enough to make you concerned about him adding weight. Garrett Wilson was also asked about wide receivers getting paid around the league, and I loved his answer.
Garrett, some massive contracts were handed out to wide receivers this offseason. When you see those pop up on your phone, those updates, do you ever let yourself start dreaming about, that payday could be coming for you sometime soon?
I see all of it. I don't look at it as far as that could be coming from me. I look at it as, I got to go make that happen. I got the opportunity to join an elite group of guys, and that's who gets that type of money, is an elite group of guys. Guys that are part of teams that win games because of them, and are difference makers every single time they're on the field. So I gotta go do it, and I'm excited, man, because at the end of the day, if you do what you think you can do, there's great compensation going out for it at this time. So that's not how I'm motivated, but I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't see it, and I love to see it.
He essentially wants to put himself into that group by how he plays, and he wants to win because, again, he talked about last year or the year before as massive failures, and he's put up back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with one of the worst, if not the worst, quarterback situations in the league over the last 2 years. The Jets have started numerous quarterbacks with Zach Wilson and Joe Flacco and Mike White and Trevor Siemian and Tim Boyle, and no matter who it is, he was able to produce with just about each and every one of those guys. So really hats off to him for being able to get through those difficult circumstances. But he knows that if he puts up a big year, he's going to get a good contract. And sure, at the end of the day, these guys want to make money. But I think, again, Garrett's response there I thought was very mature. And I really love how he and Brees and Sauce Gardner, and it stands out to me with the 2022 draft class, but the high character young men that the Jets are getting in the building is really impressive. And the more that Garrett and Sauce and Brees, the more that they speak, the more blown away that I am of just not only the quality of players that they're getting on the field, but the quality of guys they're getting off the field as well. So really good stuff there. That's going to do it for me in this one. Kind of just wanted to come back today after talking some Hassan Reddick earlier in the day on the pod. Tomorrow there will be some more Hassan Reddick talk, so kind of wanted to switch gears a little bit for the video for in the later afternoon. I appreciate it, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next time.